In this video, we're going to go through on Anglo-Chinese School Junior Preliminary Examination 2024 Primary 6 Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on the first question. Okay, so it says here Singapore's population was 6,014,723 last year. So express this number to the nearest thousand. So in this case over here, the nearest thousand is this number 4 over here, right? So if you were to look at one digit before, which is number 7 in this case, so what we need to do is then to see whether 7 is more than uh, 5 or more. So 7 is 5 or more, so we round up, and therefore, in this case, this will then be, what do you think? Right, we need to add 1 to the number 4 in this case. All right, and that is where we will have the number 6, right? Million 15,000, and that's it. So the answer to option number 1 is 4. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Okay, so question number 2, in 13.02, which digit is in the 10th place? So in this case, we know that 1 is in the 10th place, not the 10th place. 3, so 1 is in the 10th place, right? 3 is in the 1's place. And then people might think 0. Another common error is 1th place. There's no such thing as a 1th place, right? So this is the 10th place. And then 2 is in the 100th place. So therefore, in this case, the answer is this, right? 0 is in the 10th place. So it's option number 4. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. So Rina makes a necklace using 12 pink pearls and 18 white pearls. What fraction of the pearls are white? Okay, so we know that there are 12 pink pearls and white pearls is 18. So the total will be 12 plus 18, and this gives us 30. So fraction of white pearls, right, is equal to, so we need to make a fraction. So what is the white? Is 18 out of 30. Okay, and what can we do to divide further to simplify it? Okay, even though the question didn't say to simplify, you need to simplify. So in this case over here, what we need to do is to divide what? So what is the common fraction between them? Right, so if you say we divide by 6, then you're right. So we divide 6 for both the numerator and the denominator as well. Okay, so what do you think the answer is to this? So 18 divided by 6, this will give us 3. And 30 divided by 6 is 5. So there you go. So the answer to this is 3 out of 5. So this should be option number 2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. All right, question number 4. It says here, what is the value of 63 plus 27? So this is a divide 3 minus 12 times 2. So let me write this down so it's easier to see. So bracket 63 plus 27. And then this is divide, right? Divide by 3 minus 12 times 2. Okay. All right, so over here, what we will have is this thing called order of operations. So order of operations from left to right, the first thing is we need to do the brackets. The next thing is we multiply or divide. And lastly, we add or subtract. Okay, so in this equation over here, what do you think we need to do first? Okay, so I'm going to highlight on what we need to do first. If your answer is 63 plus 27, you are right. So 63 plus 27, this will give us 90. And then we have the rest of the equation over here. So the next one is what? Do we divide or do we multiply? Okay, so this is where you need to go left to right. So that means we need to divide then, right? So In this case, we 90 divided by 3 next, and 90 divided by 3, this will give us 30 minus 12 times 2. So in this case, 12 times 2 will be the next one. Okay, so from here, we just have 30 minus 12 times 2. Sorry, this is 24, right? And the answer to this will be 6. So the option number 1 is the correct answer. All right, let's move on to question number 5. Okay, so it says here, the bar graph shows the number of students in each sports CCA. We have rugby, we have soccer, we have basketball, and floorball. Okay, so which pie chart best represents the information in the bar graph? Okay, so we know that in this bar graph, okay, basketball is the highest, and soccer and floorball is the same. Okay, so from this we can now see which pie chart over here is the I would say accurate one. Okay, so basketball is the highest. Okay, and we know soccer and floorball is the same. So soccer and floorball is basketball. Yes, basketball is the highest. Okay, so from here we can say that soccer and floorball is the same because there are two right angles, right? But here it says basketball is the smallest and rugby is the highest. Okay, so in this case over here, number one in it. Okay, okay, number two, since soccer and floorball is the same, but rugby and basketball is the same, that's not it. Number three, it says here rugby, basketball is the biggest and soccer and floorball is the same. So I think this is it. Number four, everything is the same. Okay, so in this case, number three is the answer. All right, there you go. All right, let's move on to question number 6. The average of three numbers is 34. One of the numbers is 28. Which of the following are the other two numbers? Okay, so we know that the average of three numbers is equal to 34. So we can get a total, which is 34 times 3. Okay, so if you do our workings, right, or we can, I'm going to be a bit more manual, 34 plus 34 plus 34, right? So yes. Okay, so I mean the answer should be 102, but I just want to double confirm this. So this is 68 plus 34, and this is 102. Okay, so one of the numbers is I would say first number is 28. Okay, so remaining number value is equal to 102 minus 28. Okay, so in this case, this will then be 90, 12, so this should be 70, 74, 74. Okay, oops, let me put this like this. Okay, so for some of these remaining number value is 74. So we need to find what's the, then over here, let me need to find total from pair of numbers. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Okay, no need to find the total from pair of numbers. Okay, so it needs to add to 74. So 42 plus 54 over here. Okay, let me get a bit bigger. So the total will be 96. Okay, in this case, which is not it. Okay, so next 36 plus 38 is 74. Okay, that means this is correct. Okay, tick tick tick. Oops, no, I don't this. Okay, so next one is right 64. So close yet so far, right? Okay, so we're gonna have a cross over here. Okay, and then last one, this add together, this will then be 50, right? Okay, so that means this is a cross as well. So need to find total from pair of numbers that, okay, that is equal to 74. Okay, so this is yeah, need to find a total from pair of numbers that is equal to 74. Okay, so that's it. That is the answer over here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. Okay, so PQRS is a parallelogram and PSTU is a trapezium. Which of the following pair of lines are parallel? Okay, so we know PQRS is parallel. So parallelogram means all sides are parallel over here. So I'm just gonna draw the parallel sides. And then PSTU is a trapezium. So that means one of these sides are parallel as well. That's what you see over here. Okay, so which of the following pair of lines are parallel? So QR and ST. QR and ST are not parallel. So I will say I'll give this as a cross over here. Okay, so okay, QR and UT. QR and UT is actually, yeah, is it parallel? Yes, it is. Okay, reason is, so QR, okay, is parallel to SP, which is also parallel to UT, which means, so in this case, so QR, so to just make it, yeah, so the answer to this is correct lah, which means QR is parallel to UT. Okay, so in this case, this deserves a tick over here. There you go. All right, so let's move on to the next one. ST and PU. ST and PU, nope. Okay, this is not. Okay, so yeah, in this case, it's not. So we can write down here only one side of trapezium, right, is parallel. Only one side of the trapezium parallel, which is SP and TU, which is this one, right? SP and UT, sorry, in this case. All right. Okay, so PS and RS. So PS and RS, no, they're not parallel at all. Okay, so yep, there we go. So the answer to question number 7 is option number 2. Okay, let's move on to question number 8 over here. So 3 containers with some water are shown below. Arrange A, B, C from the largest volume of water to the smallest amount. That's what I see over here. Okay, so we start from A. Okay, we can see the number of gaps, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in this case over here, we have 5 gaps, which is equal to 100 ml. Okay, whoops. And then one gap is equal to, this is 100, and then we divide it by 5, and this will give us 20 ml. All right, so from here, we know that we have 100, then 120, 140, 160, and then this is, so we have 5 gaps, 6, 7, 8.5. So 8.5 gaps is equal to 8.5 times 20. This will give us 170 ml. Okay, so in this case, A is 170 ml over here. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, to B. So roughly, yeah. Okay, B over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, similar, 5 gaps, okay, is equal to 400 milliliters. One gap is 400 divided by 5, which is 80, right? So 8.5, we can say close to 2 gaps, which is equal to 2 times 80, which is around 160 ml. Okay, so B is around 160 ml. Okay, so I will just put it here and here. Okay, last one we have C. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means 10 gaps. Okay, so 10 gaps is equal to 0.5 liter or 500 milliliters. Okay, so one gap is equal to 500 divided by 10. In this case, this will give us 50. So we have 4 gaps over here. Okay, so 4 gaps, this will then be 4 multiplied by 50. Okay, And what will this give us? This will give us 200 milliliters. Okay, so from here, I'm going to label them as container A, and then it should be container B, and the last one should be, container C. Okay, so from here, I think we can see which one is the biggest and which one is the smallest. So container C is the biggest. So from largest to smallest. So C is the largest. And what is the smallest? Smallest is container B, right? Smallest. So the answer to this is number 4 over here. Okay, so CAB, cab. I don't think people say the word cab. People say the word Uber. Uber no more also in Singapore, so it's Grab. Okay, let's move on to question number 9. The figure below is made out of 5 identical quarter circles. The radius of each quarter circle is 10 centimeters. Find the area of the figure. Leave your answer in terms of pi. Okay, so 1/4, we have how many 1/4 circle? Right, we have 1. Okay, we have 2. I'm going to put here 2. And then we're going to put here as 3. And then we're going to put here as 4. And then lastly, we're going to put here as 5. Okay, so we got 5 quarter circles. So 5 quarter circles. Okay, so we have a total of 5 quarter circles. So let's find 1/4 circle area, right? In this area. Okay, so 1/4 circle area is equal to 1/4, and then we multiply by the circle area, which is circle area, which is basically 1/4 times pi r square. So you have, all right, so pi, okay, pi times r or radius, times radius, right, or pi r square radius. So what's the radius to this? So we know the quarter circle radius is 10 centimeters. So 1/4, right, times pi times 10 times 10. Okay, 10 times 10. Okay, this will give us 1/4 times 100, and then we have pi, which will then give us, so if you remember how to have 100 divided by 4, 25 pi. Okay, centimeter and then square. So 5 quarter circles is basically 5 times 25, and this will give us 125 centimeter square. In this case over here. Sorry, pi centimeter square. Pi. We have some pi. Okay, so that means the answer to this question is option number 1. Okay, let's move on to question number 10. Okay, the figure below shows a prism. Which of the following are nets of the prism? Okay, so over here, we see that there is this triangle. So over here, you could see that there is obviously a right angle, but at the same time, it's also a normal triangle as well on the bigger area. That's what you see over here for prism. So that means, like, for B is obviously, I think, pretty straightforward. This is correct. Okay, in this case over here. What about A and B? So we know that the bigger area has a triangle that looks like this. So this is correct. Okay. For the smaller areas, as what you see over here, it is a right angle. It must be a right angle as well, because this is a right angle prism. So that means for A is correct, right? And then for C is also correct. Okay, for D can be correct if the triangle is facing the same way. But the thing is, this is not facing the same way. So in this case over here, this is wrong. So the answer to A, B, and C, the answer to this is A, B, and C, which is option number 3 in this case over here. Okay, there you go. All right, question 11. So the solid shown below is made out of 1 centimeter cubes. Owen takes the whole solid and dipped it completely in a pail of green paint. What is the total surface area of the solid figure painted in green? So I've created a back view as well to just calculate. So in this case, if you can count mentally, I think that's great. So I would say the first layer, let me just put this over here. Okay, so you can see here the first layer is 5. So you 1, 2, 3, and then the back 4, 5. So I'm going to do the same for second layer, right? Second layer, if you count from the front is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10. So second layer is 10. Okay, so I'm gonna draw another box like this. Okay, second layer is roughly 10-ish. Okay, I'm gonna highlight line instead. Okay, and lastly the third layer. Okay, so you count, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9. And then you have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so this is 21. Okay, in this case over here. So this is the not second layer but the third layer. Okay, so that means total is equal to, I'll put the total at the bottom, which is 21 plus 10 plus 5. This will give us 36 centimeter square. Okay, so the answer to this is option number 4 in this case over here. All right, so it will look something like this over here. Okay, so hopefully this makes a bit more sense. Okay, let's move on to question number 12. Okay, so it says here PQR is an equivalent triangle over here. So where's PQR? This over here. So I'm going to put like this P, Q, and R. Okay, STUV is a rhombus. Okay, so rhombus means all sides are the same, all sides are parallel as well. That's what you see over here, and all sides are the same. So you're gonna put one line over here, one line over here, one line over here, and one line over here. Okay, so QRST is a straight line. So I'm gonna draw a line as well for QRST. It's a straight line like this, and then RVS is 52 degrees. Okay, so in this case, find angle USV. So USV is this one over here. So I'm going to draw the red so it's easier to see. Okay, so let's calculate this. First thing is that we know PRQ over here is an equilateral triangle. So that means here will be 60 degrees, right? Okay, in this case over here. So what this means is that if I were to have this, so opposite angles are the same. So that means this is also 60 degrees. So another thing is that if I were to highlight this, that this is a trapezium. So TRSUV and this over here. Okay. So this whole thing over here is a trapezium. Okay. So TRUV, okay, is a trapezium. Right. So in this case, what we can do is, let me just remove this whole thing, right? Is that we can get the angle over here. So this are the angle, right? Oh, sorry, this angle over here. Okay. So that means this is angle SVU. So angle, oops, SVU is equal to 180 minus 60 minus 52. Okay. And what will this give us? So it's basically 120 minus 50 in this case. So 120 minus 52, this will give us 68 degrees. Okay, so from here we know that this is 68 degrees. Okay, so now we know that this is 68 degrees. We can get the angle that is over here as well, right? Which is TSV, right? Or as yeah, TSV. So angle TSV, right, is equal to 180 minus 68. Okay, this will give us 112 degrees, right? In this case over here. Oh, okay, so degrees. Okay, so we know that this whole thing over here is 112 degrees. So what do you think T was this USV is, right? So angle angle USV, the red one, is equal to half, wait, half of angle TSV. Okay, wait, because because yeah, when you okay lah, half of TSV, because yeah lah, in this case, because it's in the midpoint of these two, so that means which is basically equal to 112 divided by 2 it gives you 56 degrees over here. So the answer is option number 3 in this case. All right, so yep, let's move on to the next question. Okay, all right, so question 13. The table shows the rates for renting a bicycle at a shop. Daisy rented 2 bicycles from 3 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. She paid a total of $32 for renting the bicycle. So you have first $8. How much did Daisy have to pay for every additional 30 minutes of part thereof? Okay, so you have 2 bicycles is equal to $32. So one bicycle is equal to 32, and then we divide by 2. This will be $16. Okay, so we know that first is that one bicycle is $16. So we also know that the first hour is $8. Okay, so remaining is equal to 16 minus 8. This will give us what is this called, $8. Okay, so you got $8 remaining. And then the time that we have is so 3 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. is equal to 2 hours and 50 minutes, right? Or also equal to 120 plus 50, which is equal to 170 minutes, right? Okay, so we have 170. So remaining time is equal to 170 minus first hour, or in this case 60 minutes, right? So 170 minus 60, this will give us 110 minutes. Okay, and then lastly we want to have number of 30 minutes block is equal to 110, and then we divide it by 3. So in a sense this will give us 4, right? We round up lah. So 11 divided by 3 is 369. So it's basically 3 remainder 2, right? Okay, let me put this, but we need to round up. Okay, remainder 2. Right, let me see if the okay. So we have 4 blocks. Okay, so now we know that the remaining is $8. So 4 blocks is equal to $8. Okay, and then from here 1 block is equal to 8 divided by 4, and this is equal to $2. So the answer to this is $2 over here. All right, so that's about it. Let's move on to question number 14. So at first, Mrs. Ang had twice as many red beads as yellow beads. Twice as many. So red beads is equal to 2 units. Yellow, I'm going to remove the beads. Yellow is 1 unit. Okay, right, sorry, 1 unit. Okay, so she used 2/3 of her yellow beads and some of her red beads to make some necklets. In the end, 3/5 of the beads left were red beads. What fraction of her red beads did Mrs. Ang use? So we're going to put this as a ratio. So red and yellow is 2:1. Okay, so we know that she used 2/3 of her yellow beads. That's what you see over here, right? Okay, but before that, so this is the before, all right? Then after, what did she say? She said that after 3/5 of the beads were red beads. Okay, so after that means 3/5. So in this case, 3 beads were red beads. Okay, so 3 out of 5, right? So 3, that means yellow is 2. Okay, 5. So left, uh, red beets left is 3/5 of beets, right? So this means red beets, this means dot dot dot, red beets left in a way is 3 parts, and then the yellow, right? It's not 5, it's 2. So yellow is beets left is equal to 2 parts in this case. So 5 minus 3 equal to 2 parts. This case over here. So total beets left is equal to 5 parts. Okay, so hopefully this shall make a sense. Right. So this is after 3/2. So now we know that from before and after, she used 2/3, right? So used 2/3, right, from one yellow over here. Let me put the arrow like this. Okay. So from this over here, so from 1 2/3 and then to 2/3 to this. Okay. So simply what we can do is okay, so let me see. Okay, great. In this case, we can say yellow used was 2/3. So yellow left was 1 minus 2/3. This will be equal to 1 out of 3. Okay, in this case over here, right? So we also know that yellow beats left, right? Left as well is 2 parts. Also 2 parts. So that means 1/3 yellow, 2 parts. Then 3 out of 3 yellow is equal to 2 times 3 equal to 6 parts in this case over here, right? Okay, so for that means this we can transform it. So we can multiply the yellow to 6, and then for the red, we can also multiply this by 6. Okay, so over here, that means this will be equal to, so 2 times 6 will be 12, and 1 times 6 will be 6 over here. So that means when 6 is then becomes 2, then that's why I say used 2/3, it becomes 2 in this case over here, right? So from here to here, what do we use? We use -9, right? In this case, so this use 2/3 or use. So 12 to 3, it becomes 9 in this case over here, right? So that means, so what fraction of a red beet did Mrs. Ang use? So red beets used is equal to, in this case, uh, 9 out of 12. And if you simplify this, it will be 3/4, right? There you go. So the answer is option number 3. All right, so that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so question number 15 over here. Mrs. Sammy baked chocolate and strawberry cupcakes at a children's party. The number of chocolate cupcakes was 57, the number of strawberry cupcakes. Then she baked some blueberry cupcakes. In the end, 25% of the cupcakes were chocolate cupcakes. What percentage of cupcakes were blueberry cupcakes? Okay, first we convert this whole sentence. The number of chocolate cupcakes was 57 to the number of strawberry cupcakes. So that means chocolate is equal to 5 units. And then strawberry is equal to, you guessed it, 7 units. Okay. So this is what this means, right? This whole thing. Let me just use an arrow so it's easier to see. All right. So always remember what certain things means in certain ways, right? So I'm gonna draw another rectangle over here. Okay, strawberry cupcakes equal to in this case over here. All right, so now the next thing is we don't know what's a blueberry, right? So but we know that 25%, right, is equal to chocolate cupcakes. Okay, 25% is of cupcakes. Okay, so a little note I'm going to write here. When C percentage, always convert to fractions, right? In this case over here. So 25%, right? 25 out of 100. Okay, what does it convert into? Whoops. So 25 out of 100. Okay, this will then convert into, so we divided by 5 for each. This will be 1 out of 4 in this case over here, right? So 25 out of 100 is equal to 1 out of 4. This little note. Okay, so that means 1 out of 4 of cupcakes is equal to chocolate, which is also to 5 units. So 4 out of 4 of cupcakes is equal to 4 times 5 units, which is equal to 20 units. So this is the total, right? I'm going to put here total. Okay, so we know the total is 20 units. We know strawberry 7 units. So in this case, blueberry is equal to uh, 20 minus 5 minus 7. Okay, this will give us 8 units, right? So now we know what's blueberry in terms of units. So we want the percentage, right? So I'm going to highlight this. What percentage of cupcakes? Okay, so in this case, blueberry percentage is equal to, oops, did I cancel it? Okay, so this will be 8 out of 20 times 100%. Okay, so in essence, I'm just gonna add this below here. Okay, so blueberry is 8 out of 20 times 100. So 8 out of 20 is essentially you have 20 and 5, so it's 8 times 100, and then you div out of 20, right? Okay lah, but essentially it's just 8. One, it is 4 out of 10 times 100%, which is basically 40% in this case over here. So the answer to this is option number 3. There you go. All right. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.